Everybody, welcome back. Another week, Crack Kills Football, Week 8. We're past the halfway point officially today in our 15-week regular season. And could it be any better of a mid-season setup? The slate today, great. That's all I can say. It's great. Let's take a look at the 5 things to watch for as we head into Week 8, another week of Crack Kills Football. Quick hit number 1. Let's start at the top. Winning ways. 2 teams sit atop the Crack Kills League at the moment. King Kwan, Superfly TNT, both 6-1. Well deserved. The top 2 scoring teams. Both today look to go 7-1, facing 1-6 squads. Kwan takes on the highly trained Apes. The Flies take on Future Cop. Of course, Kwan continuing to build with the trades. Now they face the old team. Jalen Hurts, DeAndre Hopkins, going to take on their old team in the highly trained Apes today. We'll see if they have some words for that old team, or if maybe they have a little affection for the old team and don't show up like they might have in the past. Quan will need both those guys, though, but with the solid base of the Buffalo Bills and Josh Allen and Stephon Diggs, and pretty good running back with Christian McCaffrey, who is in a different system now. We'll see if Quan keeps rolling. They have a good squad, looking to keep it going, especially with the trades last season. On the other side, Superfly. Just the same old Superfly. They seem consistent from year to year. At least early, they're out as one of the hottest teams out of the gate. Now taking on Future Cop, coming off a high score of 151 points last week in a rout of all business. The Flies look to push to 7-1, keep up there at the top. We could have a tie for first after this week, which seems likely, or we could see a new leader. It'll be fun to see what happens. Quick hit number 2, Separation Sunday. For 4-3 teams today, it's a chance to put a little distance between them and the pack. No comment, Mean Jeans, Phil's Fugitives, and Shittown all sit at 4-3 and all face 3-4 teams, which we'll get to in a second. Chance to put some space between them. 5-3, I was better than 4-4, especially if that 4-4 would be tied with the team you just played. Whew. Double, and really the tiebreaker too. You know, so you go from 4-3 ahead of the team to 4-4 and behind them. Not something that you want to see at this point. Different directions though for these 4-3 teams. No comment. Lost last week to Phil's Fugitives. Mean Jeans, losers of 3 in a row and in a get-right situation right now. They need a win. Other hand, we got Phil's Fugitives, one of the hottest teams in the league, 3 in a row. Shittown also on a 2-game winning streak. Both of them look to push those streaks, and they will if they win today and solidify the playoff picture maybe a little bit more. But there's a few other teams that maybe have something to say about that. Quick hit number 3, closing the gap. On the other side of the coin, all business, Tinfoil Kings, Dime Bags, and Unfinished Business, all 3-4, looking to make things interesting with a win today. Just like the above, these teams are split into 2 halves. Tinfoil Kings and all business, both on 2-game losing streaks. On the other hand, Dime Bags and Unfinished Business, both on 2-game winning streaks. If all of these 3-4 teams are able to get wins today, we would be looking at an 8-way tie for either second or third. Well, I guess third, since the 2 teams at the top would be above them. But an 8-way tie at the halfway point in the season. Could it be any crazier than that? 8-way tie. I mean, even though I'm 4-3, part of me is hoping for an 8-way tie. But hopefully not. We'll see. Should be fun today with those 4 big games. Quick hit number 4, QB League. 4 quarterbacks are in the top 10 in scoring, led by resurgent Patrick Mahomes. Even without Tyreek Hill, Mahomes has been great this year, getting back to his form a couple of years ago. You've also got Lamar Jackson, Josh Allen, and Joe Burrow, who shook off a little bit of a slow start. Jalen Hurts, the other QB who's in the top 20 in scoring. The top 4 quarterbacks, we always talk about quarterbacks being a high-risk position with the turnovers and the negative points, but right now the top 4 quarterbacks are ahead of guys like Justin Jefferson, Devontae Adams, Derrick Henry, on and on and on, Jonathan Taylor. Right now, these great quarterbacks are better than any of the skill position players that you could potentially get. Like I said, we've always said they're high risk, but maybe they're a higher reward, and the risk has decreased a little bit with these guys being able to sling it around like they can. We'll be watching these QBs. We'll see if anybody else comes out of nowhere. Maybe not likely to catch them at this point, but the other thing you got to watch for, injuries. Keep our eye on that, especially for these guys. All 5 of those quarterbacks, maybe not Joe Burrow as much, but all 5 like to run a little bit. Finally, quick hit number 5, and we'll check in for the first time on the bus. Busted. Jonathan Taylor, the ultimate bust. Consensus number 1 pick across pretty much any fantasy league that you wanted to talk about. Taylor was the guy. He's been horrible. 42 points through 7 games. Not looking good for Jonathan Taylor. Maybe with a new quarterback he gets it going, but he just doesn't look like the same guy, and the Colts don't have the same offensive line, so we'll see about that. Otherwise, it's running backs all over the place for these busts. Alvin Kamara, Najee Harris, Dalvin Cook, Derrick Henry, not living up to their billing. Haven't been horrible all across the board, but guys like Kamara and Najee Harris can't depend on him. Jonathan Taylor, bad. Derrick Henry seems like he maybe is picking it up a little bit, but he's always one to watch. Dalvin Cook, another guy that maybe could get it going, but it's getting late in the day for a little bit. Tight ends, also a complete wasteland. Even Travis Kelce, probably the best. Mark Andrews went out with an injury this week, but he's got 5 points combined in his last 2 games. The tight end position that seems like it goes in huge peaks and valleys has hit a valley this year. And again, maybe down the stretch we have a tight end step up. Maybe a guy like Greg Dulcich. We'll see. But those 2 positions, especially when you compare against quarterbacks, which people don't usually run with the quarterback, it's not great for those 2. Keeping an eye on it, of course, as we say for everything every week. Finally, player to watch. We're going to go back to one of those guys that we mentioned just a little bit ago below the QBs. It's Tinfoil Kings' Justin Jefferson. Jefferson started out with a bang. First 2 games, great. Then 2 single-digit games. Now, 3 straight games in double digits, 2 of those over 24 points. The Kings will need Jefferson today if they want to pull out of the slight losing streak they're on. They like to see him get over 20 points, too. We'll see if that happens. Yeah, that's it. Crack kills, quick hits. Week 8, we are on the way down the hill after this week. Maybe the ball will be rolling for some people. Maybe they'll be pulling back in the reins a little bit, but we're headed towards the playoffs one way or another. Let's have another great week of football. Crack kills, quick hits. Good luck to everybody this week except all business.